If you're a job seeker looking for new opportunities, Sweden is a great country to consider. With a job seeker visa, you can explore your options and find a job that fits your skills and interests. Let's look at the job seeker visa requirements. Firstly, you must hold an advanced level degree. This could be a 60-credit master's degree, a 120-credit master's degree, a professional degree worth 60 to 330 credits, or a postgraduate, PhD level degree. You'll need to provide digital copies of your examination certificate and an official academic transcript that shows the courses included in your education. You must also provide a letter of consent to allow the Swedish Council for Higher Education to verify your educational documents. Secondly, you'll need a valid passport that shows personal data, photo, signature, passport number, issuing country, period of validity, and if you have permission to live in countries other than your home country. The full passport pages must be present on the copies. Numbers and characters at the very top and bottom of the pages must also be visible. The passport must be valid for the time that you will be in Sweden. Thirdly, you must demonstrate that you have funds to support yourself and your living expenses. You'll need to have bank assets equivalent to at least 13,000 Swedish krona for each month for which you are applying for a residence permit. You must also have money to pay for your travel home. You'll need to provide copies of bank statements or other documents showing that you have sufficient funds to support yourself during the period that you are applying for a residence permit. Fourthly, you must have comprehensive health insurance that is valid for care in Sweden. This insurance must cover the entire period for which you are applying for a permit. The insurance must cover the costs of both emergency and other medical care, as well as hospitalization, dental care, and possible repatriation for medical reasons. You'll need to provide digital copies of documents showing that you have comprehensive health insurance that is valid for care in Sweden. And finally, you'll need to pay an application fee of 2,200 Swedish krona. It is important to note that some agencies may charge candidates high fees for assisting with the job seeker visa process. However, it is possible to complete the process independently without relying on agency assistance. Let's look at how to apply for a job seeker visa. You can apply for a job seeker visa online, e-service, or offline. First, go to the Migrationsverket website. You can find the website link in the description of this video. If you are applying online or using e-service, click on the Apply button available on the Migrationsverket website. Links are given in the description of this video. Now you will see the login page. The e-identifications are Mobile Bank ID, Telia e-identification. These options are for those who are in Sweden and have bank IDs or e-identifications. Others can choose the username and password option. Once you have created and verified your email ID, you can log in with your email ID and password. First is representative details. On this page, if you are doing this application for yourself, you can choose the first option. Next is time of the permit. Number of months the permit shall be valid for. This means how long you want to be in Sweden on a job seeker visa. The minimum period must be 3 months and a maximum of 9 months. You can type the months in the field provided. Please note that based on this month, you need to show the funds and insurance too. Next is personal data. Add these details as per your passport, date of birth, first name and surname, personal ID number. If you are in Sweden and you have a personal number, you can give it, otherwise, you can leave this. Place of birth, sex, marital status. Please note, if you are not legally married and living together with a partner, please select the single option as the cohabiting partnership is not considered a legal marital status. Address, postcode, city, country. The next page is for personal data. Telephone number. What is your citizenship? You will need to attach the passport copy for this citizenship later in the application. If you have dual citizenship, there is an option to add those details as well. Add your mother tongue. Add languages you speak. Next is about passport. To get a residence permit, you must have a valid passport. So, choose yes. Next is current passport details. Choose the type of passport document. Type passport number. Enter issue date. Valid to. Enter passport expiry date. Choose the country of issue. At the bottom, you can attach a scanned copy of your passport. If it is not ready to upload, you can upload it later. File size. dimension, and format should be as per the guidelines provided. I'm not going to upload it at the moment. I'll show you how to add it later. Next is residence permit details. If you are living in a foreign country and possess a valid residence permit, then you can select yes. If you are currently residing in your home country, then choose no. Next is stay in Sweden. If you are currently present in Sweden and hold a valid residence permit, you can choose yes. If not, please choose no. Next is stay in Sweden. If you have ever applied to visit Sweden to seek asylum, study, work, relocate to a relative, or visit, please select yes. This question also applies if your visa application is declined. If you have never applied for any of these purposes, please select no. Next is education. Choose yes here, then add education details in the next pages. You need to add your full academic details here. Next is to attach academic documents. You'll need to provide digital copies of your examination certificate and an official academic transcript that shows the courses included in your education. Along with the educational documents, it is mandatory to include a letter of consent authorizing the Swedish Council of Higher Education to communicate with the country where you pursued your education. You can access the authorization format in the links provided in the video description. You can attach academic documents and a letter of consent at a later stage as well. Next is stays in Schengen. If you have traveled to any Schengen countries in the past year, please select yes. If you have not recently visited any Schengen countries, please choose no. Next, comprehensive medical expense insurance. You must have comprehensive health insurance that is valid for care in Sweden. This insurance must cover the entire period for which you are applying for a permit. The insurance must cover the costs of both emergency and other medical care, as well as hospitalization, dental care, and possible repatriation for medical reasons. Choose yes, and enter insurance details on the next page. Please note that if you are applying for a 9-month visa, it is important to ensure that you have insurance coverage for the entire duration of your stay. You will need to upload digital copies of documents showing that you have comprehensive health insurance that is valid for care in Sweden. You can add this later as well. Next, financing. You must demonstrate that you have funds to support yourself and your living expenses. You will need to have bank assets equivalent to at least 13,000 Swedish krona for each month for which you are applying for a residence permit. You must also have money to pay for your travel home. Choose bank assets and upload copies of bank statements or other documents showing that you have sufficient funds to support yourself during the period that you are applying for a residence permit. Next, your plans. Here, provide a summary of your plans for your stay in Sweden using no more than 1,000 characters. If you don't find work or don't start a business in Sweden, what are you planning to do? Choose leave Sweden. If you are choosing the other option, you need to state the details. It is better to choose the first option. Next, choose the embassy or consulate. To which embassy or consulate would you like us to send the decision? Select your embassy or consulate from the drop-down menu. In this section, you may include any further relevant information that was not already mentioned before. Tick the checkbox and then click Next. Here you can see the overview of your application. Kindly review all details and make corrections if any. At this point, it is possible to upload the documents that may not have been submitted earlier. Please select the appropriate field and upload the necessary files. Educational documents that you enclose must be translated if they are issued in a language other than English, French, Spanish, German, or one of the Nordic languages. The translation must be done by an authorized public translator into Swedish or into one of the languages above. Other documents that you enclose must be issued in or translated into Swedish or English. The draft copy of your application can be downloaded from this page. Kindly note that all previous steps must be completed before moving on to the next stage. Once you upload all documents and review your application, you can continue to make the application fee of 2,200 Swedish krona. If the application is not submitted within 30 days, it will be deleted. You can resume your application via the link sent via email. You can also use the link to download a copy of your application once it has been submitted. The link will stop working 30 days after the application is finally submitted. If you cannot make the application online or using the e-service, you can make an offline application. You must submit the filled application form and required documents to the Swedish Embassy or Consulate General in your country of residence. If that is not feasible, you can apply at the nearest embassy or consulate general in the region. Once you have applied, the Swedish Migration Agency will review your case and make a decision. During the process, the Swedish Migration Agency may ask for additional documents or information from you. If you have not received a decision within 6 months, you can submit a case conclusion form, which is available on Migrationsverket's website. The link for the form is also attached in the description. Once you submit this request, the Swedish Migration Agency will, in 4 weeks, either conclude your case or refuse your request. Please note that if you have been granted a job seeker visa, your family cannot move to Sweden to live with you during the period that you have this visa. This visa does not permit you to work during your stay, but it allows you to apply for a work permit once you receive a job offer. Alternatively, if you are interested in starting a business, you can apply for a self-employed residence permit. Thank you for watching this guide on the Sweden job seeker visa application process. We wish you the best of luck in your job search or business exploration in Sweden, and we hope to see you soon.